Good evening. I'm Justin Walker with ESPN News. I'm here today to bring you the tragic story of college athletics and how it's no longer amortized and how huge divisions in the NCAA, such as the Southeastern Conference, the SEC, and the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC, are really utilizing their college athletes for money, for revenue, for profit. I was able to run into some key players, both in football and basketball, on big teams, to hear their stories and their opinions on whether or not they should be paid for their performance. Okay. I'm here with Trey Faulkner, the University of Alabama quarterback. Do you have something to say about paying college athletes?
Yo, don't even tell them who I am. They know who I am. They see me on the field every weekend.
Okay. Well, what do you feel like? Do you feel like you should be paid for your performance?
Well, I say check me out. SEC championship game, Saturday.
Here with Trey Faulkner again, the University of Alabama quarterback, and I have another couple questions for him. Trey, do you feel like you should get paid again?
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm the one out there throwing the touchdowns. You know, they ain't come to see me do academics.
Academics.
Yeah.
How are classes? How is everything with that?
The what?
Classes.
Oh, classes, man. I got that girl, Trudy. She does all my tests and things. So classes are good then.
And I'm here with another student athlete named Michael Brenner, running back at Florida State University. I'm going to ask him about the daily schedule of a student athlete and how difficult it is for him and how much, well, just really how student athletics at universities, specifically the big schools like SEC, ACC, just how it's just a job for them. Michael?
You know, being at a big school at FSU, wake up early morning for a workout, usually around 4:30, do a lot of training, get it real exhausted. Then we try to fit in breakfast, usually can't eat if we don't have time rushing to class. And if I do go to class, usually too tired to stay awake and pay attention, so I fall asleep, take a little nap, and we got 12 o'clock practice. It's real hard, you know?
Well, is all of this mandatory?
Yeah, man, coaches say.
What happens when classes or when practices run through classes?
That's it, bro. Football over everything. Ball is life.
Thank you. Here's Connor Lehman to answer some questions. Connor, what happened with your injury last year?
Basically, last year I broke my leg in 3 places, and I couldn't play basketball anymore. I was out for the whole year.
Are you able to play anymore?
Nope, I can't even walk now.
So, Connor, what are you doing now?
I'm working for my dad in landscaping, trying to pay the bills for the physical therapy and medical bills, just so I can walk again.
So the university didn't cover you for that?
They don't even talk to me anymore. I'm nothing to them.
Interesting. So they just cut you right then and there?
Right then and there.
There's in this room, college athletic program at St. Louis University baseball team. I'm going to ask him a few questions about if he feels like college athletes should be paid and if it's a job or not. Stay quiet. Mr. Fletcher, do you feel like college athletics is a job?
What?
Do you feel like you should get paid for all this hard work you do?
Dude, just get out of here.
Cut. After hearing these surprising and tragic stories, I'm sure you're asking yourself, what can we do to solve this problem? And I have some solutions for you. Mr. Harris, can you introduce yourself to the camera, please?
My name is Brandon Harris. I play tennis here at St. Louis University.
Okay, and you have some opinions on the solutions for paying college athletes, correct?
Yes, I do.
Well, there's solution number one, which we've spoken of paying all the athletes the same. Well, at least in the big revenue sports like football and basketball. How do you feel about that?
I disagree with it pretty much completely. Just because, you're going to have multiple players that are performing much, much better than the other players. You're going to have first, second, and third strings. So I really don't see how that makes much sense if you're having people, bringing in the fans and bringing in the results whenever you're having other people who are, just kind of there to back up those people.
We come to solution number two,
All right.
which is we pay the athletes separately based on their performance and the money that they virtually bring to the school.
Yes.
Like the starting quarterback would get paid more than the third-string quarterback, like you said.
Exactly. That's what I would agree with, just because they're the ones, bringing the results to the. Let's say the first-string quarterback gets hurt, and then the second-string quarterback comes into play, and then he starts performing as well. Well, then, obviously he should get the money that the first-string quarterback is getting because he's become the one that is, doing the performance.
But then we have the solutions, which I think the NCAA will most likely agree with, which is solution number three, which would to be which would be to take this revenue that these schools produce and put it into somewhat of a fund of a players' union. Will they be able to distribute the money to players for injuries, players for those who don't have a scholarship anymore because they were injured, to pay for their education further, to pay for financially unstable players' food, nutrition, stuff like that. So how do you feel about that solution?
I think it's a very good solution. I think that would be a great way to incorporate the second and third solutions, because I think that because you're going to have the players that are going to be coming in with those financial problems, who are going to need the money in the first place to be able to pay for their education, like
because they have no time for a job.
Exactly, but obviously, like they're going to have to go through some injury at some point, and so like if they're going to need the treatment and everything else, well then their performances should allow them to have that treatment, and they fully deserve it too.
The NCAA, you need to ask yourself, is this fair? Is this right? It's time for a change. And with that, this is Justin Walker reporting for ESPN News. Good night, America.